Yeah, that's accelerating vertically. That's fun.
Hey guys, look what I got. That's right, I got the brand new Avios Grand Tundra 2. In this video, we are gonna unbox it. We're gonna take a look at all the parts and pieces. We're gonna move some control surfaces, spin up some motors, things like that. All kinds of the basics. I believe this thing has lights, all kinds of really cool features. So coming up next, we're gonna see what's going on inside the box. This is what it looks like inside the box. And as you can see, there's all kinds of good stuff here. Right down there, inflatable tires. That's one of the new features in the V2. And I just gave them a nice big squish, and I think I'm gonna like those. Coming up next, you're gonna see everything on the bed. There's a lot of plane that was in that box, and we've got it all spread out here the best I could to make it fit in the frame. Look at those Tundra, our Grand Tundra 2 stickers. Those look awesome. Avios, I love that Avios logo, looks very nice. All kinds of good stuff going on here. There is a fair amount of assembly that's going to be going on. If you look at those green vortex generators, we've got to do a little glue, nothing major. Mostly glue, or mostly screw, a little bit of glue like that. And if you want a full assembly video, check out John VHRC's. He always does a great job on that. And with all that being said, the next time you see this, this will be fully assembled. Look at this beautiful RC plane fully assembled. There are two quirks that I encountered that I wanted to communicate to you guys. Actually, three little things. Mostly two on the quirk side. One is something that's easy to miss. I'll address that here shortly. But look at this plane. Beautiful. The first thing I wanted to show you is what the prop assembly looks like fully set up. It comes with a nut on there. There's also a spacer. I really don't understand why they sent that. I did not use those. You just use that hole right there, stick a screwdriver through and the washer and cinch that down nice and tight. The second thing I encountered was difficulty getting this hairpin on. As you can see, we've got that little post there. There wasn't enough hole there, so what I had to do was sand the top and bottom of the end of the strut right there, and it took a little bit of time. The other post wasn't the same. Just know that this is a possibility. It may just be a fluke. I really don't know. The other thing are these little strut screws. Make sure when you're taking the struts out of that bag that you look for these. There are 3 of them in the bag, and they're really, really easy to throw out. Do not throw them out because you're going to need them to assemble the strut. Which is right there. Before we open up the spacious battery bay, I want to talk about the plastic cladding on either side of this battery bay, or this battery hatch rather. What that does is it helps reduce chipped paint, which I think is pretty dang cool. Let's see if we can gently transition. There we go. I don't think we have any camera fuzzes. Here's the battery bay. Got the ESC off to the side. I did a little Velcro on the side, so that's nice and secure. And I'll show you the trick in here. You push this down and twist it, pops up, slide it back, and bang. Battery tray comes out of the battery bay, and you've got some measurements here, which I think is quite cool. GT2, Grand Tundra 2. Very nice, HobbyKing. I kind of like that. What we have here is a great look at this beautiful light kit. There's also something that you probably don't realize baked in here with this light kit. It's got a sequencer on the landing lights, and watch this. You can turn off the landing lights. If you have it set to a 3-position switch, you can make it flash, you can make it be static like this, or you can make it go off. I've only got it set to a 2-position switch, but the possibilities with this, there's quite a few. There's a lot of cool stuff baked into this RC plane. while we've got the power on, let me kick these up to high rates and we can let some stuff move. Control surfaces going on. I guess you really can't see those that well. Let's see if the flaps show up. A little bit. I'm pretty timid, pretty tame with my flaps. Even half flaps, even a small amount of flaps on a high wing plane generally slows it down quite nicely. That way you've got a nice landing or a rolling landing. These flaps will do a full barn door. So if you're really into the stall and the barn door flaps, this will do that. I may switch this around so you have a different look at it. But my goodness, I am loving this plane. Coming up next, we are going to talk about the inflatable tires. I did not have to add any extra air to these inflatable tires, and I probably could, although they're kind of dipping into the memory foam right there. Probably looks like I probably could, but I'm going to fly them flat stock. I'm going to show you in this next clip where you stick the inflator if you want to do that, and I'll show it on the other tire that we have a better angle at. You can see right there in the middle of your screen, right at the top of the rim, there's that little tube sticking out. That's what you stick your little air tool into. I know that John gave his just a little bit of bump up, and John VHRC that is, and he used an air compressor for that. I'm thinking you could use a bike pump or any other kind of thing. I've got this little cordless vacuum that I might use to top it off. I may even take it to the field with me just in case I think I need it, but I don't think I do. I think things are looking good straight out of the box. With this plane, we've got 6S power, which we're gonna do a quick little spool up test coming up right now. But remember, throttle cut, throttle cut, throttle cut. You should do that on any plane, but when you have something this powerful with that big a prop, throttle cut is your friend, and you should treat the power of this responsibly. Okay, we're starting to move, and I didn't have anything chalking the tires other than the memory foam, which it likes to set in. Well broken in memory foam. That was awesome. That sounded really smooth to me. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I hope you guys like this angle right here. You can see some stuff. The horizontal stab's just a little bit out of the purview, but we can see the flaps go up. We can see the flaps go down. Got the ailerons, and coming up next are the pros and cons. Here we go with the pros and cons. As far as the pros go, the scheme is beautiful and bright. The new inflatable tires are awesome. It comes with a 6S prop in the box. The previous version had a 4 or a 6S. This one just defaults to that. You can order a 4S prop, but who would order that? If you have 6S packs, clearly that's what you want to do. The motor is also redesigned so it's more powerful and more efficient for longer flight times. As I showed earlier, it's got plastic cladding around the battery hatch to reduce paint chipping over time. Also comes with hardware that puts in the landing lights, so you can make it 3 different settings if you want. That's pretty darn cool. And of course, as you could see earlier and right here, it's got a great light kit. As far as the cons go, this first one's not really that much of a con, but I would love if this would have came with floats, just like the V3 Tundra. I understand cost and box size, things like that, but that would be nice. The only real con is that I did have to do quite a bit of sanding to get that strut to fit on that post on the bottom of the fuse like I showed earlier. But other than that, oh my goodness. Beautiful plane. I cannot wait to fly it. Check the link in the description of the video. There's also a coupon code in there, discount code if you will, at HobbyKing, 5% off. That never hurts, not too bad. Like, comment, and subscribe, and GBLynden out.